Multiplying decimals with number chips. This is an Easter themed lesson and it's a good practice for the students, and I wanted you to try it with your students because it has two ways it's self-checking. So the first way it's self-checking is they're going to be moving these number chips around their screen in order to solve the decimal multiplication. So if they get to the end of one of these problems and the numbers aren't working, there they know they've made an error somewhere and they need to go back and check. The other way it's self-checking is that if they get the correct answer, and they're going to match each answer to a letter that's in a yellow heart. So if they've done these problems correctly on the very last slide, they will solve an Easter riddle. So it starts on slide 2 explaining how to shift the decimal point before you multiply, and then depending on how many places you shift the decimal point to the right, you're going to shift it back that many places to the left in your answer. And then the next 2 slides it shows how that's done. So here we have 1 decimal point, so we're moving 1 place to the right. And then we get our answer. We're going to multiply as if they're whole numbers, and then move that decimal point back 1 place to the left in their answer. And then here's an example of when they're moving 2 places to the right. And so when they get their answer, they have to move back 2 places to the left. So they're going to start on slide 5. This one's pretty simple. They get a little bit more difficult as they go. They're going to be moving these number chips. They just click and hold on the edge. It also has a movable decimal point to place in the answer, so they don't want to forget to do that. But the first thing it asks them to do is to type the number of places they're moving the decimal point to the right in just this top number. So that would be 2. And then the second number, they're moving the decimal point 1 place to the right. And the total goes down here 3 places to the right. So they're going to use this number after they get their answer, and they're going to move back 1, 2, 3 places to the left in their answer. So here we get 24, so we're going to move the 4, we carry a 2, so then we get 27 plus 2 is 29. Carry a 2 again, we get 21 plus 2 is 23. Now we're going to move that decimal point 3 places back to the left, 1, 2, 3, and we have our answer. Now they're going to be matching on that final slide this answer to the letter T, and they'll type that in next to their answer. They've got several to practice here. Again, we want to make sure they're typing in the number of places they're moving that decimal point to the right, and then they're going to have to move it back to the left in their answer. So they've got several to practice. Now we've got 2-digit by 3-digit, so we've got an extra row in here. Make sure they remember that they're going to start this row with a 0. And so they get a little bit longer, a little bit more difficult as they go. Now when they get down to the final slide here, they have an Easter riddle. And here are all the answers they should have from the previous slides. So they're going to go back, find these answers, and then they're going to type in the letter that's in the yellow heart. So if they've done them correctly, they will solve the riddle. So I'm anxious to hear how your students do with this lesson. There is a teacher feedback. If you would do that, I would really appreciate it. So multiplying decimals with number chips. This is the Easter version.